Israel wanted a king, but they did not understand what they were asking for. Before this, God had led them through prophets, through judges, through his voice. But now, that was no longer enough, and everything began to change. It started with a crisis. Israel went to battle against the Philistines, but they were defeated. Thousands fell, and the elders asked, "Why has this happened?" But instead of seeking God, they made a decision. Let us bring the Ark of the Covenant into battle. The Ark, the symbol of God's presence. They believed if the Ark came with them, victory would follow. So they brought it. And when it arrived, Israel shouted with such force that the ground shook. Even the enemy heard it. The Philistines were afraid. They said, "God has come into the camp." But fear did not stop them. They fought harder, and Israel was defeated again, worse than before. 30,000 men fell. The ark was taken, and Eli's 2 sons died. The very symbol they trusted was gone. Not because God was weak, but because they treated him like a tool. And when the news reached Eli, he fell backward and died, and the wife of one of his sons. When she heard, she gave birth in that moment and named the child Ichabod, saying, "The glory has departed." Israel had lost more than a battle. They had lost direction. But the story did not end there. The Philistines took the ark and placed it in the house of their god, Dagon. But the next morning, Dagon had fallen, face down, before the ark. They set him back up. But the next day, he had fallen again, broken, and the hand of God moved, not in Israel, but among their enemies. Plagues struck them. Fear spread, city after city. They passed the ark, trying to get rid of it, until finally, they sent it back, with offerings, with fear, with acknowledgement. God had shown he did not need Israel to defend him, and Samuel rose, now recognized as a prophet, and he spoke to Israel. "If you return to the Lord with all your heart, then put away your false gods and serve him only." And they listened. For the first time in a long time, they turned back. And when the Philistines came again, Israel did not trust in symbols. They cried out to God, and this time, God answered. The enemy was defeated, not by strength, but by surrender. And Samuel led them, as judge, as prophet, as the voice of God. For years, there was peace. But then, time passed. Samuel grew old, and his sons did not walk in his ways. They took bribes, they twisted justice, and the people saw it. And they came to Samuel and said, "You are old, your sons do not follow your ways. Now make us a king, like all the other nations." This was not just a request, it was a rejection. They were not just asking for a king, they were replacing God. And Samuel was troubled, so he prayed. And the Lord said, "They have not rejected you, they have rejected me. Still, give them what they ask, but warn them, show them what a king will do." And Samuel spoke. He told them, "A king will take your sons, for his army, for his service. He will take your daughters, for his work. He will take your fields, your harvest, your best, and you will cry out one day because of the king you chose." But they did not listen. They said, "No, We want a king, so we can be like other nations, so we can have someone to lead us, so we can see our leader. And God said, give them a king. And there was a man named Saul, tall, impressive, different from everyone else, from the tribe of Benjamin, and he was chosen, not because he was the best, but because he looked the part. And Samuel anointed him, poured oil upon his head, and said, the Lord has chosen you. And Saul was presented before the people, and they saw him, and they said, God save the king. And just like that, Israel had changed from a nation led by God to a nation led by a man. Samuel stood before them and gave his final words. He reminded them, I have walked before you. I have not taken from you. I have not wronged you. And they said, you have been faithful. And Samuel said, if you will fear the Lord and serve him, then both you and your king will stand. But if you turn away, then destruction will follow. And to show them that this was not a small thing, he called upon the Lord, and thunder came. Rain fell in a season when there should be none. And the people were afraid. And they said, we have sinned. We have asked for a king. But Samuel said, fear not. Serve the Lord. Turn not aside. For the Lord will not forsake his people, for his name's sake. But everything had changed. They had a king now. What they wanted, they had received. But what it would cost, they did not yet understand. And what came next would change everything.